Welcome to Wall Street Sizing Up special edition. Aren't they all? It is crypto this week. That's right. What happened in crypto? We all know crypto went bananas, 23K plus up. That's right. Congratulations to all the Bitcoiners out there and all the bag holders out there. We want to talk about what's happened this week. Besides that, what's pushing the market up, and maybe a little controversy today. So with that said, Jake hit the theme. Let's hit the crypto casino. And we are out of the gate. You can see Bitcoin right now about midday on Friday is trading about 22.8, 22.9. We know the upside was 23.7, I believe, is what it reached. So I want to just talk to you about some TA, some technical analysis. So we all want it to increase, but if it comes down, what do we need to look at? And how far could it fall? I'm not trying to scare you, just want you to know. So if you do want to trade out, most of us have. If you were in Bitcoin in March of 2020, you probably have hard hands, so you're not going to trade out. But if you did want to, I want to give you the essentially the support levels or the resistance levels for the Bitcoin price. Let's start there. So right now we're at like I said, we're at 22.7 on this chart as well. Here it is. So essentially, you see a lot of green candles because it broke through 21 and 22 very, very quickly and on to 23. So your first resistance level is going to be really the $22,000 mark, right? 22,000. That's a little bit of resistance. It's not a big one. So understand that. So if it breaks that, that's not the hard line. The next one would be 21,000, and that's not really a hard line too. Where the hard line comes in is about 19.9, so just under 20,000. That's where it should hold. It's got a very good resistance level there. If I can put it on the screen, but it's about right here, right? You can see where it all comes in there. So about 19.918. So if it breaks that and starts to hit 19.8, 19.7 consistently, and it's not getting back over the 19.9, then you could see it retrace again all the way back to 16.2, which is all off this chart. 16.2 is right around here. There's a nice little resistance at 16.2. And then really, really good resistance at 14.3 and then 12.4. The 14.3 and the 12.4 have really, really high resistance, as high as the 19.98. So do I see it going that far down? No, I see it staying above 19.98, but just know if it does break the 19.98, it could absolutely run down to 16 fairly easily. So don't be surprised about that. So what is driving the Bitcoin price? Well, we know it's probably Wall Street, but why is Wall Street behind it? And we'll get to the Wall Street guys and the Titans in just a second. But here's the thing that I saw in a newsletter from Forbes, right? For retail investors, buying Bitcoin this way, it means through GBTC. By the way, I'll talk about them in just a minute. GBTC is essentially the OTC stock that just holds Bitcoin. It's the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust, right? Buying Bitcoin in Grayscale means paying a premium. Since shares in Grayscale trade above the underlying price of Bitcoin, why would you pay a premium? That premium typically is between 12% and 20% right now. Well, why don't you just buy Bitcoin from Coinbase or Kraken or Binance? Well, turns out there's an appetite among big institutions, small institutions, and even retail investors that for legal or other reasons prefer to get into crypto in the form of shares. Let me tell you why. Here's the deal. Grayscale, it's far more liquid. Even though it trades on the pink sheets, it's far more liquid to get in and to get out when you have to. So here's the thing about you bag holders. If you hold a bag of Bitcoin, you need a plan of escape. Let's say it goes to 30K. Let's say it goes to 40, 50K this year or in the next couple months. How are you getting out? How are you going to take some profits? I'm not saying clear the deck. I'm just saying, how are you going to take profits? A lot of these exchanges, you can only take in USD, you can only take $5, $10, $15, $20,000 out per day, right? Even if you have a broker, some of these guys won't do more than 50,000 or 100,000 per week. So understand, you need a plan of attack of how you're going to get out. But it said something very interesting. It talked about the trade happy millennials, right? It's not just the institutions. Likewise, trading happy millennials have been buying the Grayscale stock too at greater volumes than shares of Netflix or Disney. So let's look at that really quick. So if you go to, this is Fidelity. And Fidelity, they poll, I want to say it was like 142,000 retirement accounts. Guess what? GBTC is more popular than Warren Buffett's Berkshire Hathaway, Walt Disney, Microsoft, and Alibaba, right? Millennials, their top 5 stocks that they hold per Schwab is Amazon, Apple, Tesla, of course, Facebook, and Grayscale Bitcoin Trust, number 5. If you go to Gen X, it's not even in the top 10, and baby boomers, not even in the top 10. Of course, we would think that. So let's talk about these titans of Wall Street, right? Titans of Wall Street. First guy a couple weeks ago, Paul Tudor Jones. He's continued to give updates on his Bitcoin investments. Here's some things that these guys have all said. I'll go through really quick. At the end of the day, the best profit maximizing strategy is to own the fastest horse. Fastest horse is what? Bitcoin. If I am forced to forecast my bet is on Bitcoin. Bitcoin reminds me of gold when I first got in the business in 1976. Stanley Druckenmiller, we just heard about him last week and the week before last as well. I have warmed up to the fact that Bitcoin could be an asset class that has a lot of attraction as a store of value to both millennials and the new West Coast money. That means the tech bros. The tech bros were in 10, 5, 3 years ago. As you know, they've got a lot of Bitcoin. It's been around for 13 years, and with each passing day, it picks up more and more stabilization as a brand. Frankly, if the gold bet works back in 1976, the Bitcoin bet will probably work too. Okay? Good to know. Miller Value Funds, multi-billion-dollar fund. Year to date, 3, 5, 10 years. Since inception 12 years ago, it's been the single best performing asset category in every one of those periods. Why would you not hold Bitcoin? Ray Dalio. So Bitcoin could serve as a diversifier to gold and other such storeholds of wealth assets. The main thing is to have some of these type of assets with limited supply that are mobile and that are storeholds of wealth. Right. It's a store of wealth. And unlike gold, you can carry it cross borders. You can put it on a plane with you. You can keep it in your pocket. You're not trusting banks to hold your bag, much like your USD. I like that. I'm sure you like that. Here's what the last two are really the best ones. Rick Reeder, CIO of BlackRock, couple $1 trillion fund. He's global fixed income and head of global allocation. Do I think Bitcoin is a durable mechanism that will take the place of gold to a large extent? Yes, I do. Boom, there it is. That's all you know. BlackRock is now behind this. And finally, the one I really, really like, Guggenheimer funds, right? Guggenheim funds, if I'm saying that correctly, which I think I am now, managing a total of $233 billion. They have a Guggenheim Macro Opportunities Fund. Macro means global, means everywhere, all over the world. Followed an amendment with the SEC to allow their subsidiary, Guggenheim Macro Opportunities Fund, with $5 billion under management to be able to invest up to 10% of the fund into GBTC. That is $500 million more that is probably coming to it's going directly to GBTC. GBTC then has to go buy Bitcoin from the exchanges, hence the price increases. We all know this. The one that I also like is what's called Rougher. I believe it's Rougher Investments, and they've put in they've got a $20 million fund, right? It's London based, and they have now allocated 2.5% of those funds to Bitcoin. I believe that is about 700 million, if I'm being correct. My math is correct. So that is phenomenal. So they 620 here, but they've now increased that to $750 million that they put in this week and are buying probably as we speak, right? So what has this done to Grayscale? In 2 weeks, it's gone from 10 billion in assets under management, AUM, 10 billion. And in 2 weeks, it is now over 13 billion in crypto assets under management. That is ludicrous. Ludicrous. One of the things we also wanted to talk about that could have a little bit of an effect too is Pornhub. So Pornhub had a few issues this week with they were letting people of unknown origin upload children engaged in sex acts, stuff that we don't even want to talk about here. But so what happened was MasterCard and Visa cut off Pornhub, right? So Pornhub went to crypto. So again, more people buying crypto to keep their subscription to Pornhub and to buy into a Pornhub subscription. So why is this important? Because Pornhub is huge. It is literally one of the top 5 sites in the entire world. Traffic reached 3.6 billion views a month in August of 2020. That's how big Pornhub is. Next big news, Coinbase going public. This is going to be huge. Coinbase Global, the biggest U.S. cryptocurrency exchange, said it has filed confidentially with the SEC to go public. And they do have an S1, but it's not a lot of people have seen that. The company started in 2012, has raised over $500 million. I believe it's at an $8 billion private valuation. They have 35 million verified users in 100 countries, and they have 25 billion in assets on its platform. So what I am hearing from the S1, from what I see, it's very long, TLDR. Essentially, it looks like they're going to value themselves at $28 billion when they go public in 2021. That looks to be next quarter. Just telling you now, that will be huge. I will try to get in on that, but I'm sure a lot of large institutional money will be running towards that as well. Something we touched on last week. We touched on a lot of these countries who have a depressed economy. What are they doing? They've been sanctioned by the U.S., whatever it is, but they're having a lot of issues. And one of the issues is that they can no longer get USD or US dollars. So in response, Maduro has ordered the military. So this is the Venezuela dictator, Maduro, has ordered the military to mine gold in southern Venezuela. That's gold. It also partly explains why the government continues to allow and allegedly profit from drug trafficking through its airstrips, seaports, and shared border with Colombia. I get it. Often at the behest of military officers, still the scramble for dollars is big in Venezuela. They need money. They are poor. So here's what's going on from a crypto perspective. Juan Jose, the CEO of Dr. Miner, a crypto miner in Venezuela, attributes the notorious blackouts of 2018 and of this year. The blackouts coincide with the uptick in crypto mining. The military is mining because of U.S. sanctions. You're not allowed to gain access to the dollar or any other international currency that easily. But now with mining Bitcoin, the military can get access to hard money with Bitcoin extremely easy, because the coins that you get mining are virgin coins that cannot be tracked, and you can exchange those on foreign exchange easily. That's how they are subverting, and that's why you have, I believe, the Trump administration really not believing in Bitcoin seeing that their policies, their foreign policy, is being subverted using Bitcoin. There's also another reason that Bitcoiners in Venezuela love the country. Electricity is virtually free, and as we all know, cheap electricity is the key to being profitable in crypto mining. Finally, conspiracy theory starts with Jim Breyer. So you've heard about the Stable Act, and they're going after USDC. They're going after all these stable coins, Tether. Go figure. Well, it starts with this guy. He looks really young here. That's when he was, I don't even know how old he was, probably in his 40s then. Well, Jim Breyer has invested in over 40 companies. A lot of those have gotten 100x. Some have gotten 25x. He is one of the godfathers of Silicon Valley. He used to work for, I believe it was for Accel Partners. That's where he got to start. He's done Etsy, Clinkle, but here's the key. He's also done Circle Internet Financial. He's also was in on the Coinbase funding as well. Now, he glides easily within and between circles in Silicon Valley and China. In 2006, he founded Breyer Capital, a global equity investor focused on providing capital to help catalyze high-impact social and for-profit entrepreneurs in the U.S. But he's also teamed up, and this is where it gets interesting. Breyer has established a joint venture between Accel Partners and China-based when he was with Accel, but he's also continued that with Breyer Capital, with China-based IDG Capital Partners, a pioneering Chinese investment firm behind startups like Baidu and Tencent. Breyer and Patrick McGovern, the founder and CEO of IDG, have served as co-leads on the Accel IDG Joint Venture Strategic Investment Committee since the inception since 2005. Breyer is active in the Chinese investment communities and continues to invest in the country through Breyer Capital and the partnerships with IDG. The problem with IDG is, again, there's Breyer now. He's 59 years old, and you'll see with IDG, they have offices New York, Boston, and London, Beijing, Guangzhou, Hong Kong, Shanghai. You get the point, right? And so the State Department and several publications this week came out with that there are high-level executives in hundreds of companies that are in cahoots and have been placed there by the CCP, the Communist Party of China, right? And as you see, there are a lot of Chinese people in IDG. And a lot of people think that since Breyer has invested in Circle and in Coinbase, that USDC, this is one of the reasons that the Stable Act, they're going to go after those. The bank wants to go after them. The government wants to go after them because they think that there is a link in that with USDC that could be being tracked per the CCP, right? The CCP could know about the movements. They're going to have a lot of analytics using USDC, but also that's what they're worried about, right? And so right now, that's a big conspiracy theory. I know it's out there, but Crypto Twitter's got it. I've seen a couple of publications publish that, so that's going to be something to know about going forward. Clearly, we do not like the Stable Act. If stable coins are ruled and it is passed and they're ruled that they are illegal to possess, crypto will take a huge, huge hit. So with that being said, pay your tithe. Pay your tithe and to Coin Center and whoever has political influence in Washington, because we cannot have stable coins tumble. If it does, it will hurt crypto in a big, big way. So don't want to end on a low note, but that seemingly is what I'm going to do. I will say this. I do see Bitcoin topping 25,000, maybe by Jan 1. So let's see, especially with the momentum from institutional investors and from retail investors as well. The FOMO is real. So with that being said, watch your six, go hard in the paint. We'll see you next time. Thanks again. Well, good day, good evening, and whatever time it may be. We hope you enjoyed that video as much as we enjoyed making it. Please hit the like or the subscribe or leave a comment because we love that feedback. And you know what we say. At the casino, you got to watch your six and you go hard in the paint, guys. Cheers. We'll see you next time.